name's Sarah. I am a geography teacher, currently in my third year of teaching over in the West Midlands in Wolverhampton. And I was a friend of Robbie's at university. We were on the same course, we did geography together. And firstly, I'll start by saying, hands down, one of the best people I ever knew and probably ever will know in life. Just so funny, so caring, always up for a good time and so supportive of all of his friends, and also one of the smartest people I've ever known. Like a bit weirdly smart. I remember we were in a lot of courses, a lot of modules together in third year. It was just kind of us two out of the friendship group. And whenever it came to essays, we were like, oh, let's swap, let's read, let's kind of give each other feedback. And I remember he would give me such amazing feedback, to be fair. Then he'd give me his and I'd look at it and I'd be like, I don't understand a word. It was all just so high level and so well written that when it came to exchanging the feedback, I was like, I can't give you any feedback because it was just so well written that I'm like, barely could understand it myself. So yeah, I've got really fond memories of us exchanging essays at uni. So I also do apologise if I look down. I have written some notes to make sure that I cover everything. So firstly, just want to talk about mental health, mental illness, and kind of what it means to me and kind of why it was really important for me to do this course. So for years, ever since kind of like my late teens, especially when I was like starting university, I've become really passionate about both mental health and mental well-being and also mental illnesses. Having experienced mental illnesses myself, at university I battled through bulimia, anorexia and also depression, and also having multiple friends and family members experience kind of mental health issues and mental illnesses as well. I became really passionate about like deepening my understanding, furthering my knowledge, so I could have more of an understanding just kind of what I was experiencing and kind of what I went through. But also have a better experience of those around me, so I can understand what they're going through. And I just really felt passionate about furthering my understanding. I really wanted to be as knowledgeable as possible. So again, this course was a really great opportunity because obviously it's something I really wanted to do, further my knowledge. So that's one of the main reasons I really wanted to do this course. I'm really passionate about mental health and mental illness. Also, working in a school, especially in a secondary school, so where I work with 11 to 18-year-olds, you see children with mental health issues and mental illnesses every day. And you do have an awareness of which kids are suffering because it is knowledge to the teachers. And I have had multiple children that I teach come up and disclose to me, oh, I'm feeling like this, I'm experiencing this, which I can't say is surprising with COVID and everything and being locked up, that mental health in children and issues with mental health and mental well-being and mental illness diagnosis has massively increased. And yeah, like I said, I have had children disclose that to me. But I always felt like I couldn't really support them as much as I wanted to. I could be there for them as kind of like a listening ear to make them feel like they're not alone and that they could talk to an adult about it. However, I felt like I didn't have the right training and the right understanding on how to like really support them and where to signpost and who to tell them to talk to. And so my knowledge there was really lacking. And again, that was really frustrating because I wanted to be able to help these children the way that they needed to be helped, but I couldn't. So again, another really big reason why I wanted to do this course is to be able to be that safe space for these kids who are suffering and provide the support that they need. That isn't really there in schools currently. So a really good reason to be able to do that as well. I also found during my teacher training, I mean, I did teach first. So it's kind of teacher training kind of like on steroids. You just do like 6 weeks teacher training over a summer and then you kind of go straight into teaching. Then you'll getting a master's alongside it. But they teach you nothing really about mental health and mental illness, the types that children experience, how they present themselves, how to signpost them. You don't get anything any training on that. It's mainly focusing on special educational needs, so things like dyslexia, autism, ADHD, that kind of thing. It doesn't really focus on mental health, so there's no training for teachers. So that's a really another massive reason why I wanted to do this training, is because I hadn't been trained on it before, and there's a real lack of training in schools. So again, a really important reason to do it. So again, another massive reason why I wanted to get on board. And then obviously just really to provide support for the children. That was kind of like the main goal behind it. So now on the actual experience on the course. Now, like I said, I thought I was like pretty well informed about mental health, mental well-being, mental illness, because like I said at the beginning, I've quite a big passion for it, so I did tend to read up on it. I have like read a few books about it, podcasts, that kind of thing. So I went into it thinking like, obviously I don't know everything, I need to know more, I want to know more, but I thought, oh, you know, I've a pretty good basis to start off with. But then while I was doing this course, I was like, my knowledge is like this. It was amazing. The level of detail, the way it was delivered, the ability to have discussions with other people on the course and their experiences with mental health in their fields as well. So we had people in the army, we had nurses, paramedics, like a whole range of different sectors. It was really, really amazing to have those discussions with other people and learn from them as well. So yeah, I thought I had a little bit of understanding. Turns out, oh my god, there's so much more that you need to know. So it really opened my eyes to, firstly, the breadth of mental illnesses that there are. Because I think when you think mental illness, you think of like the really common ones like anxiety, depression, kind of eating disorders. But then this course just opened my eyes to just how many that there are. And it's so important, obviously, to be aware of all these mental illnesses. So that was amazing, being kind of exposed to the breadth of mental illnesses. But also they went into loads of detail about what could potentially trigger them. Obviously, everyone has different triggers. But yeah, what could potentially cause these mental illnesses to form. Also how they can present themselves, because obviously they can present themselves in so many different ways depending on the individual and their experiences and their lifestyle and everything. So it was really, really important to kind of understand how they do present themselves. So it allows me, for a teacher, to understand the different ways that mental illness can be shown, so then I can be like, oh, detect it, go in and provide support. So yeah, the breadth of mental illness, how they can present themselves, and also the amount of support that is available for people as well. Also opened my eyes to all the different services. I had no idea about all the different services that were available to people. You just kind of think of the typical ones like the NHS and Mind and Samaritans and things like that. But there is so many services and support that is available for people that are suffering, and like each different service is specifically tailored to support each mental illness. So it was just really amazing to see the amount of services that are on offer for those suffering. So overall, just really opened my eyes and taught me so much about mental health, mental well-being and mental illness, and it was really invaluable. I mean, over the 3 days it was a lot of information, but you never got bored. You were just soaking it all in. It was presented in a way that was so interesting, and it proved completely invaluable. Again, you get nothing like that on teacher training, so it was really fantastic to be able to be exposed to all of this information. And I've definitely been able to carry it forward into the classroom. So as I kind of mentioned, it's really allowed for me to detect children who may be experiencing poor mental health and potentially mental illness as well. Now I'm able to understand how mental illness and poor mental health can present itself. I'm now better able to detect it in my kids, in my classes, in my form group, and also even in like the corridor with kids I don't know but they know me. I'm now way better, way quicker at detecting when something might be wrong. And also the training has not only allowed me to detect these kind of signs and symptoms, but it also really taught me how to approach having a conversation, because obviously it's a very difficult topic to bring up and you have to go about it in a very certain way, and depending on the type of mental illness or mental health issue. So the training was super important in allowing me to understand, one, how to approach the conversation, how to start that conversation without the child kind of feeling attacked or under a microscope, but then also how to carry on with the conversation, what questions to ask, and then where to go when the conversation ends. Again, I would have never been able to do that if I didn't have this training. So yeah, really amazing at being able to, the training has been amazing, allowing me as a teacher to identify, approach and start this conversation. Again, never would have been able to do that before. So I have been having more and more of these conversations with the children I teach. So that has proved invaluable. I just feel so much more confident and happy that I can provide the support and hopefully make the kids feel less lonely and less isolated within school. I've also been kind of doing a little bit of kind of mental health training with my year 7 form group. It's been kind of difficult to roll it out across all year groups just because it's been a really busy year with COVID. I've got a lot of year 11 GCSE stuff to be dealing with, so it has been quite difficult to roll it out further. But I have been doing within my form group, with my year 7s, every week we do a little bit on like mental wellness, mental health and mental illnesses. Obviously I don't go into huge amounts of detail because they are only year 7, but I kind of teach them the things that they need to know about what mental health is, what mental illness is, the kind of different types, how they can present themselves, but just not going into huge amounts of detail because they are only young. But it's kind of more for them because they are really young. It's more for them to kind of realise in themselves when they could be suffering a little bit, or when their mental health might not be kind of where it should be. It helps them just become more self-aware of their own feelings and their own mental health. And I know a lot of them have really well responded to it. So it helps them better themselves, really, have a greater awareness of kind of what's going on in their head and how they're feeling. But it also allows them to support their friends better as well, and kind of detect when maybe their friends are not feeling the way they should do, if they're having a bad mental health day, if they could be suffering from anything. Through these activities and forms, it gives them a better understanding of the signs and kind of what to do, and then also when they should go seek an adult as well, when they should come tell me, or maybe their head of year, the pastoral manager. It's been really helpful with that as well. So yeah, with my year 7s it's proved really successful. I am hoping to extend it into other year groups. I'm hoping, if I can get it sorted with my head teacher, to kind of do like a mental health programme that can be rolled across kind of all forms in every year group. And then I have been hoping to do some training with 6th formers, but it's just been super difficult to set up. But I do have big plans that I would really like to do. It's just going to take a little bit of planning. But overall, I'm so grateful for Our World, for allowing me to be part of this and allowing me to kind of keep Robbie's memory alive in this way. And I'm really hoping that the work I can do because of Our World is really gonna make children feel more confident talking about their mental health and being aware of mental health and being able to support their friends. And I couldn't have done it, obviously, without Leslie and all of Our World supporting me. And I can't, I'm probably just going off on a rant now. It's been about 15 minutes, but I'm so truly grateful to be able to do this and to be able to help kids in the way that they need to be helped, all because of Our World. So yeah, really big thank you.